Hey, folks, good morning and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. I'm Alan Saunders. It's Tuesday, August 26th. NFL cuts are due by 4 p.m. today. The Pittsburgh Steelers still have about a dozen or so to go after making a few this morning, with reports out that the Steelers have released outside linebacker DeMarvin Leal and tackle Dylan Cook after 13 cuts were announced by the team on yesterday and 11 cuts over the weekend, leaving the team still about 10 or 11 players shy of that 53-man limit, depending on if somebody ends up on the injured reserve or not, something like that. The release of DeMarvin Leal has ignited a discussion about the Pittsburgh Steelers 2022 NFL draft class, and that's certainly warranted. Also, the trade of quarterback Kenny Pickett from the Cleveland Browns to the Las Vegas Raiders yesterday for a fifth-round pick as well. And really, I mean, I think that sort of sells the whole process short here, as we can actually look at the last four drafts of the Kevin Colbert era, and you will see the reason that the Pittsburgh Steelers are the oldest team in the NFL right now, and that is because they have needed to go to free agency more than they have at any point in the team's history, or at least since free agency started in earnest in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Four straight draft classes where the Steelers did not give a second contract to more than two players. And two of them, they only gave a second contract to one player. The Steelers' 2019 draft class featured a trade up for Devin Bush, who was released before his fifth-year option. Deontay Johnson, who was given a second contract before he was unceremoniously dumped for cornerback Dante Jackson. Justin Lane, Benny Snell, Zach Gentry, Sutton Smith, Isaiah Buggs, Ulysses Gilbert, and Derwin Gray, whose combined contributions to the team were basically a couple of Zach Gentry catches. In 2020, Chase Claypool in the second round was dumped on the Chicago Bears early in Omar Khan's tenure. Alex Highsmith, the one guy from that contract to get a second contract, from that draft to get a second contract. Kevin Dotson, good player, was traded away after the Steelers upgraded on Isaac Seumalo. You can count that as two wins. Dotson did get a second contract in the NFL, just not with the Steelers. In 2021, Najee Harris did not renew the fifth-year option on him, signed a small contract with the Los Angeles Chargers, is not off to a great start to his LA tenure. Pat Freiermuth, the lone guy here who got a big second contract with the Steelers, although the team did keep a fifth-round pick Isaiah Loudermilk around. Kendrick Green is a third-round pick, an abject failure in the idea to convert a college guard to center. Dan Moore did not get a second pick with the Steelers, did get highly paid by the Tennessee Titans as a fourth-rounder. Buddy Johnson, Quincy Roche, Trey Norwood, Presley Harvin. And then 2022, the final year of the draft for Colbert. And Kenny Pickett in the first round, traded before the end of his tenure. George Pickens in the second round, traded before the end of his tenure. DeMarvin Leal released. Calvin Austin, that's one. Connor Hayward, that's two. Mark Robinson, also released by the Steelers in this cutdown process. And Chris Oladokun never made the team coming out of his initial training camp. That is four draft classes in a row where the Steelers have not had more than two players go on to sign a second contract with the team. And also three consecutive first-round picks that the team decided it did not want before the 5 years that you get with a first-round pick. And two out of three second-round picks. They didn't have a second-rounder in 2019 as part of the trade-up for Devin Bush. Two of the three second-round picks traded away before the end of their 3-year contracts with the team. Kevin Colbert is an all-time great Pittsburgh Steeler. He should be in the team's Hall of Honor someday. I hope it happens sooner rather than later. He was the architect of two Super Bowl winners. Nothing should take away from those accomplishments, but it's abundantly clear that whatever scouting mystique Kevin Colbert had amassed during his early career with the Detroit Lions and then in the early 2000s with the Pittsburgh Steelers had vanished before the end. And that you cannot be a team that primarily builds through the draft and have any success when you draft that poorly. When you miss on three out of four first-round picks and 2 out of 3 second-round picks over a 4-year span. And 3 out of 3 first-round picks, 2 out of 3 second-round picks, and 3 out of 5 third-round picks, if we're calling Deontay Johnson a success, I guess. Deontay Johnson, by the way, released by the Cleveland Browns today. You just cannot build a team the way the Steelers want to build a team and have that amount of success in the draft. And that is why I understand that Steelers fans are freaking out about the lack of a wide receiver too. And we're talking about guys like Trey Palmer, Malachi Corley, and Trayshawn Holden, who are frankly like embarrassing options as a wide receiver too, who are on the waiver wire right now. And heck, there's even Steelers fans trying to talk themselves into a Deontay Johnson reunion. The Steelers have a lot of holes. The Steelers have a lot of holes because they've drafted poorly in the recent past. The way out of that is not to plug holes. The way out of that is to be patient and build through the draft. The Steelers have 12 picks coming up in the 2026 NFL draft. Omar Khan is holding on to them tightly. Whether Omar Khan is judged in the future as a success or a failure will not have anything to do with who the team's wide receiver 2 is this year. It will have everything to do with how he turns those draft picks into successes or doesn't in the future. I've really liked what I've seen so far from Broderick Jones. Joey Porter Jr. has looked like a win. Keanu Benton has looked like a win. Darnell Washington has looked like a win. Nick Herbig has looked like a win. I think Troy Fautanu is going to be fantastic. Zach Frazier already was. Peyton Wilson looks like a star. Mason McCormick way ahead of the curve as a fourth rounder. Let's see what we get out of Roman Wilson this year. But so far, the early returns on Omar Khan's drafting, very impressive. I understand the angst about the wide receiver position. Certainly, it is the one big hole on this roster right now. But the big picture continues to look bright for the Steelers as long as Omar Khan can continue his reversal of late-stage Kevin Colbert's draft trend. That's all I got for this morning. Big news day for us at SteelersNow.com. I'll do my best to try to wrap it all up with Smitty on the afternoon drive right here at 6 o'clock. We may be a little bit later today than usual just because those 4 p.m. cuts might involve some dense writing. So be patient with us. We will be back, me and Smitty, here on the YouTube channel and the audio platforms. Until then, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.